Boris Johnson wasn't even there. He's taken a trip today to a hospital in Hexham in Northumberland. He's trying to get clearly as far away from Westminster in this debate as possible. And I think that actually makes things much worse for the Prime Minister. You know, he could have stood up and given a speech about how he was clearing up the problems of sleaze in Westminster, although that's quite difficult for him when he was clearly integral in the bad decisions that were made last week. But when we did see him at that hospital in Northumberland earlier, he repeatedly refused to say sorry. And then we heard Steve Barclay, the Cabinet Office Minister, who was sent to appear for the government in that debate instead, saying that he expressed regret on behalf of the government. And I think it just shows a lack of leadership that Boris Johnson wasn't able to say sorry himself. He had to leave it to one of his ministers to do that.
Yeah, it was quite striking. And then the apology, in fact, was for conflating this idea that the watchdog needs to be reformed with the individual case. And the optics not looking very good. I mean, very empty benches on the government side today.
Yeah, and I think there is a concern that the government still just haven't got this. You had George Eustice, the Environment Secretary, out there yesterday saying that this was just a storm in the teacup. And I think it doesn't really show any understanding of how mad members of the public are and how mad Tory MPs are, because obviously last week they got ordered to vote for this completely sham committee to look again at the proposed suspension for Owen Paterson for lobbying. He took £500,000 from some companies and broke the rules. The Tory MPs got told they had to vote for it, and then, as we know, the government got forced to U-turn. But we've not really seen Boris Johnson reaching out to those MPs. They have meetings of the 1922 committee. Those are the meetings of the backbench Tory MPs. You could have seen someone like Boris Johnson go along to that meeting tonight and say, we made mistakes last week, we put you in a difficult position, but we've realised our mistakes and this is what we're going to do to make it right. But we've not seen that at all. And in the debate earlier on just now, we didn't really see any kind of sensible plan for what exactly the MPs are going to do. Instead, we saw more rowing between the different parties, and it's hard to see what consensus they're going to be able to build to improve the standard system.